I am in Puerto Vallarta for New Year's, having a gay old time, gay, at a gay club, dancing my life away, right?
Mm-hmm.
The DJ switches to a Nicki Minaj song,
Mm.
and then one gay starts booing, and then all of the gays in the entire club start booing. And the
I'm here
DJ
for it.
switches the song. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh, this is now we're in another country. Ooh, wait. No.
Listen.
Listen.
Wait.
I hate you for that.
Let me fix it. Welcome back to Let Me Fix It, the podcast that says,
well, you certainly did something there, but this ain't it. Let me fix it.
That's Francesca.
I know. I'm Francesca Ramsey. I'm an actress. I'm a TV writer. I'm a producer. I'm a graphic designer and social media consultant.
I'm gagged is what I am. I'm Delon Grant. I'm an actor, a singer, a writer, a photographer, educator. And who was that from?
This week's tagline comes to us from Malika, and she sent us an email that says, I sent this to the wrong address weeks ago. And I was just like, oh, I guess they hate it. Haha, I love you both. Been following Fran since Shit White Girls Say days. Peace and laughs from Maine, Malika. Such a great tagline. The attitude.
Fantastic. The shade.
It was just so clear.
Dramatic pausing, right?
I mean, she really went above and beyond. Class, do not forget, you can send us a tagline and you can send it to us as a voice note the way that Malika did. Or you can just send us text via email to lemmefixitpod@gmail.com. Don't make the mistake Malika made at first. It's Lemme, Lemme, fixitpod@gmail.com. And we might use your tagline right here on the show.
And you know we're fools and actors, so we're happy to do a dramatic reading. If you don't want your voice on the pod, we will happily read it.
Yeah, if you want to be anonymous, if they're looking for you, don't don't screw it up.
For real. Wait, you know what's before we actually get started, let me I have one thing I wanted to add. Is there a world where we add something to the pod where we like have people send in their secrets?
Ooh.
Maybe this is a separate podcast that I need to start because every podcast exists. This probably already exists in the world.
Yeah.
But I had this idea, just send in a short secret. Not like I murdered somebody. Not like
please don't.
But like a crush on somebody or something you wish you would have told someone. I don't know. Is there a world that exists on this podcast? I don't know.
I don't think we need to create a whole new show for it. I think that could be in the messages from the class. We can expand to not just comments. You can also send us secrets, deep, dark desires. Send them to us as an email, or again, send it to us as a voice note. I would love to include those in the show. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, this is a safe space for everybody in the class.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's dig in because I derailed us.
Yes, I actually want us to start with a game.
Oh,
you know we love a game here on Let Me Fix It. This game is called He's a Writer.
Not with the Shakespeare behind you. Oh, you have outdone yourself.
All right, so here's how the game works.
Wait, shut up.
In class, I want you to play along.
Stop right now. God, friend, your graphics are so good. This is so stupid. You spent so much time doing this. I'm so proud to know you. Class, give her props. Damn.
This was what I spent my free time doing. Okay, so we're going to start super easy. Class, play along in the comments. Okay, so I'm going to give you different prompts for different words. It's your job, Delon, to answer them. So this one says, this German word describes experiencing pleasure, joy, or self-satisfaction from the troubles, failures, pain, suffering, or humiliation of others. What is it?
I'm going to give the class a second to respond because I think I know what it is.
This is easy for Delon.
Okay, because I say this shit a lot. 3, 2, 1. Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude, correct. Easy peasy. Next up, Shakespeare. He's a writer.
Stupid.
William Shakespeare invented over 1,700 words, okay?
Yes.
Here are 3 words. I want you to tell me which one of these words that Shakespeare actually invented.
Ooh.
Ethereal, lonely, or green-eyed.
Wow.
And walk us through your process. Tell us why you're guessing the guess that you're guessing.
Great. So Lonely, I feel like, has always just existed as an idea in the English language, although Shakespeare did create words that we didn't have words for, very much like the Germans did.
Yes.
Well, English is a Germanic language, so that's that.
Yes.
Ethereal feels very romantic and Shakespearean, but I'm gonna lean into green-eyed. Green-eyed is a little weird because it doesn't feel like it's an actual word.
Yeah.
But because of the way Shakespeare describes a lot of other characters in his comedies and romances, I'm gonna go with green-eyed for 100, Alex. Oh.
You are correct. All right. Shakespeare was actually the first one to use this as an adjective to mean jealous in The Merchant of Venice. He went one step further and coined green-eyed monster in Othello.
Which we use a lot.
Isn't that so fucking cool?
I mean, I don't know how this man in his brain did it. You know how he did it? He didn't have TV and social media. I'll tell you what.
That's true. Let me just tell you, while I was working on this game, the puss was wet the whole time. Shakespeare could get it.
My booty hole's wet right now, all these words.
All right, next up, internet jargon for 200.
Uh-oh.
This unit of cultural transmission leaps from brain to brain via a process of imitation.
This is really Jeopardy. This unit of cultural transmission
leaps from brain to brain
via a process of imitation.
Yeah, yeah.
What is? I don't know. Copycat.
What is a meme?
A meme. A unit of cultural transmission leaps from brain to brain via process of imitation.
So when you see, this was a scheme set up by Todd, and then people continue transforming it in different ways, that is a meme.
See, I think of a meme as something that is like an actual, like, did you see there's a meme going around of like Greenland in the United States, and in the foreground, it's Alicia Silverstone and that guy who runs into her in Clueless, and she's like, as if. I think of that as a meme.
Yeah. So that is a perfect example where you've taken this idea of America wanting to buy Greenland and you transformed it into another piece of content via imitation. So they're imitating a scene from Clueless and applying it to that map. And so it's like...
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, it's just like leaping from brain to brain. Like, so somebody took the Greenland and USA and then they added Clueless, and then somebody else is going to take Greenland and USA and add another movie to it. And then someone will add another movie to it.
I want to rewrite this definition.
Well, this is the definition from the guy who coined the word meme. Okay.
Well, he's stupid. I want this to say like a cultural idea that is transformed from person to person. Like that makes a little more sense to me. The transmission and the process of imitate, girl.
Well, he was using like gene and meme. So he was using like the idea of how genes replicate to say how memes replicate.
Scientific.
Yes, he really was. I forget his name, but we're quoting Alex Trebek for this version. Okay, next up. Pugnacious. This is a SAT word. Delon loves the SAT word. Delon, do you know what this word means?
Pugnacious. Ooh. Pugnacious. I would say someone who's pugnacious or something that is pugnacious is annoying, but like a know-it-all. Somebody,
okay.
Like an annoying know-it-all.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's actually a very good guess. It is incorrect, unfortunately. It's ready and able to resort to force or violence. A perfect example is ICE. Fuck ICE. They are...
Way to slip that shit in. Hell yeah.
Fuck them. They pugnacious as fuck.
Pugnacious. Ready and able to resort to force or violence.
Correct.
Pugnacious sounds a little too cute for that, doesn't it?
It does. It reminds me of pug, like the animal. And that's why, people don't use it. All right, next up. Your name is problematic for 600. This upscale brand also refers to a small country with a corrupt dictatorial government whose economy is dependent on a single export.
This brand.
It's an upscale. I put upscale in quotes.
Upscale. Prada? No. Single export.
Keep going. I feel like you're going to get it.
Prada.
A small country with a corrupt dictatorial. Dick rolls right off the long tongue.
You know, girl, it didn't take me but a second. I said, dick to
I said, I'm not well acquainted with the dick like that.
Girl, I just came back from Mexico. Wait a minute.
Okay, do you have a guess?
God, no, I'm gonna give up. I don't think.
Who is Banana Republic?
Oh, what? So a Banana Republic is a country? Yes, that's
yes.
Totally,
a Banana Republic is a small country with a corrupt dictatorial government whose economy is dependent on a single export. So Banana Republic is actually a slur. Like it's not a positive thing to be like, this fucking Banana Republic. It's not very smart, but it's become so far removed that people just think of it as the clothing store.
Wow.
Okay. This is a definition that is slang. All right. It's choppelganger. Choppelganger. Choppelganger.
Okay.
This is what the Gen Zs are saying.
So I know what doppelganger is. Doppelganger is another German word that means it's a person who looks like you or is similar to you.
Yes.
A choppelganger, is this like someone that dresses like a clown, like Chapel Roan?
You always got to throw my good sis in there.
Choppelganger. What is this slang?
Okay, it's a portmanteau of chopped and doppelganger. Chopped is an individual, or doppelganger is an individual who bears a striking resemblance to another person, but is seen as hideous or grotesque. So chopped means you're ugly. So for example, Gollum's doppelganger is Stephen Miller.
Absolutely. That's Satan, son of a bitch. Absolutely.
All right. This is also an SAT word. Pointlessly or annoyingly talkative. Starts with a G.
Pointlessly or annoyingly talkative. Verbose comes to mind.
You're not so big and bad with your degrees and everything, are you?
Listen, some of us getting our loans forgiven now, bitch. I'm still paying for them degrees. Pointless or annoyingly talkative. I don't know. Gorgamel? I don't know.
It's gargulous. I know. I just looked up the hardest. I looked up hard SAT words. Okay.
Garrulous.
Yeah. All right. We got another Shakespeare. He's a writer. Capricious, elbow, and swagger.
Swagger's not a Shakespearean word, but nice try. Capricious is I think that's like a Latin-based word. I'm gonna go with elbow.
Okay. This was a trick question. It's elbow and swagger. So Shakespeare was the first person to use, so elbow was a noun before Shakespeare, but he turned it into a verb, like to elbow somebody. And swagger for Shakespeare, swagger meant to walk or strut with a defiant or insolent air. It's based on sway or swag or sway. Wow. So like moving like this. Isn't that so cool?
I mean, Shakespeare luggage is another word he came up with. That man was brilliant. And they try to... The society culture people have always been like, did he write all these plays? Did he come up with all these words?
Yeah.
Why he did? Why not?
He absolutely did.
Right.
All right. I think this is the last one. Your name is problematic for 400. This big energy rapper changed her stage name in 2021 because it was a slur.
Oh shit. I do know who this chick is. Big Lotto. Hey.
What was her name?
It was Mulatto.
Her name was Mulatto.
Which is so not creative at all.
Oh my God. Well, congratulations, Delon. I'm going to say that you are a writer. You didn't get everything right, but your thought process really showed that you got a big brain up there.
Listen, the brain does, it tethers some shit together every now and again, I can read sometimes.
Class, tell us in the comments how you did with this game. I'm excited to see your answers to the questions.
And also give Fran her props for these games, because my game is literally a keynote spreadsheet, and hers has like graphics and pictures and moving things. It's brilliant. Well done.
Well, I will say I am toying with the idea of turning these games into their own little series on my YouTube channel. So this is me like piloting this idea. So class, if you like these games and you would watch them and play them with your friends here on YouTube, tell me in the comments, because my brain is braining and I feel very inspired by this project.
Go ahead, go off.
Dawn, you want to kick us off with the headline?
Yeah, let's kick it off with the headlines. So Fran, did you hear about this hockey player who came out because of heated rivalry?
That was going to be my glow up this week, damn it.
Oh, well, one in the same. So, guys, if you haven't heard, we know we're a fan of heated rivalry here on the podcast. I started rewatching it already because I'm obsessed and can't get enough.
I watched it with Shamika last week, and watching her watch it was it was incredible. It was so fun.
Well, and also just before I get to this headline, I've talked about Esther Perel on this podcast, right? Esther Perel has another podcast. She's a sex and relationship therapist. She wrote a book called Mating in Captivity that she's really popular for. Her podcast is called Where Do We Begin, where she does a one-time therapy session with different relationship couples, families, all the things, which I love and I've recommended to you, Fran, as well. And she made some really good points about heated rivalry that I'll give here. She talked about 3 specific moments and why they were corrective for us and why they mattered. There's a scene where Kip goes and he's waitering and he drops all of the food on Scott. And his friend who hired him to do the gig was like, girl, don't worry about it. Here's another tray. Whereas like we have the expectation that is supposed to be a really bad, he's going to get fired and it's going to be terrible.
And he thinks he's going to be fired.
Yes. And for all intents and purposes, he probably should be. He was also late,
right?
Yeah. Oh, but his friend was like, don't worry about it. We've talked about the mom and her saying like, what did I do to make you think you couldn't tell me this stuff?
Yeah.
And like how corrective and beautiful that was. But also like the idea that a man is in another man's arms and he's like, no, tell me everything. Yeah. Say it in Russian. Like it's so corrective, you know?
Basement flooded. Right? Oh God, that was so hot.
So all of this got this hockey player named Jesse Katuum, I think is how you say his last name. He's a hockey player who really didn't compete in any adult leagues that were professional, but he's played hockey his whole life. And he said that heated rivalry, watching it really made him come out. He's quoted on Facebook as saying, to any hockey player, the sound of the rink and the feel of the cold air are unmistakable. The slap shots, the pucks hitting the board, the skates carving fresh ice, and the high-pitched clang of a puck hitting the post bring immense comfort. For a long time, however, the rink did not feel like a place where I could be all of me. I felt I had to hide parts of myself for too long, and he no longer does. So welcome to the.
He's a writer. He's a writer. He said the clank of the stick and the ice. Like, okay, paint the world. That's incredible. I mean, it's also just a nice reminder, especially with everything happening in the world, that media is powerful.
Yes.
You know, there are folks out here that were so quick to say, no more woke, no more DEI. And look at what is the most popular show.
Thank you.
A show about, and let me say this because a few people clocked me on it, because one of the characters is bisexual, right?
Sure.
So it's about a gay man and a bisexual man, a queer man coming into his own and figuring out who he is and finding love. And that is so important and so powerful. And these stories deserve to be told. And it's so nice and affirming when you get this kind of great news of like, wow, this really touched somebody. I saw Hudson Williams saying that he's gotten a number of DMs from closeted hockey players.
Really?
And I really hope this gives them the courage to come out, of course, on their own terms, but to know that they can be embraced and live a healthy and full life is so important.
Absolutely. And let me tell you where you can be embraced for real. Boston, Massachusetts, Dorchester. You need some man arms? Come right here, Mr. Hockey. Okay.
Shoot it right in this little net.
Well, boom. Okay. So I'm really this show just continues to be a gift that is giving to all of us, right? Not only conversation and discourse, which we love here on the podcast, but I am just so glad that queerness has a positive conversation, a positive topic, right? Like that is really bringing me a lot of joy, and can't wait for season 2. And I hope some of these other writers get a chance to have their shows or their novels on screen too. Another one I was reading, not that great, but it's called Boyfriend Material. That Red, White, and Royal Blue was another one that they made a movie out of, right? So I hope these ladies keep writing for the gays and for the ladies, because we're out here consuming it, you know?
Yeah, no, it's so real. I really hope this does open doors for other creatives. And, you know, I'll say this because we've now given 2 episodes to Heated Rivalry. It is so important to see new, fresh voices get a shot. And that is unfortunately something that our industry here in the States is not really great about. And so you don't need a huge budget. You don't need big celebrity names. You don't need, you know, to spend billions of dollars. You don't need Nepo babies with Botoxed faces, right? Like, you can use real people and tell real heartfelt stories, and they can find their audience. So it's really powerful stuff.
I dig. What is your headline?
Okay, well, Delon, did you see that Don Lemon was clapping back at Miss Nicki Minaj over on his YouTube show? I want to show you a clip.
Let me just say this. Nicki Minaj, stop talking about shit for which you know nothing about. This is out of your depth, by the way. And you are a homophobic bigot. You don't care about African Americans. You're not an African American. From what I know, you are reportedly an undocumented citizen, so you should be deported under Donald Trump's rule. And the other thing is that your family members, you have one family member who's reportedly a sex offender, the other family member, your husband or whatever, a sex offender is your husband, and one of them is reportedly a pedophile. And you have nerve to talk about me and what you think that I do? Nicki Minaj, get a life.
Don Lemon is not playing with Nicki. She made this post that was very homophobic, essentially saying, she says, Don cocksucking Lemon is disgusting. I want that thug in jail. He would never do this to any other religion. Lock him up. And this is because Don Lemon's reporting on the ground in Minneapolis recently took him to a church where there was a protest happening, right? And so the protesters have alleged that one of the church's pastors, David Easterwood, is a member of ICE. And so Don Lemon followed them to the church. He was not inciting any sort of violence against the church. He did nothing wrong. He genuinely was just reporting. And now the DOJ has announced that they want to charge Don Lemon under the Ku Klux Klan Act, which makes it illegal to threaten or intimidate people or prevent them from exercising their God-given rights. This is insane on so many levels because y'all don't seem to have a problem when ICE storms churches and grabs people with masks on and drags them away. But Don Lemon, just using his First Amendment right to follow a story and talk to people. There's a moment where he's actually interviewing one of the members of the clergy at the church, is now turned into he's attacking Christians and he's making it so difficult to be Christian. And here comes MAGA Minaj tap dancing because she's all about her Christian rebrand. And I'm really giving it to Don for clocking her on this. This is all a performance about the fact that she is undocumented and the fact that her husband and her brother both have, you know, these precarious sex offender records.
Pedophile records.
Yes, exactly. Right. And so it's just so wild that they are attempting to use the law in this way. Like the sheer irony of invoking the KKK Act on Martin Luther King Jr.'s day against a gay black man.
They're so stupid, and they think we don't see through this. And like one of the big remits of the Trump administration coming back was, the deep state and how they're weaponizing the law against MAGA and against conservatives, and that's exactly what they're doing. So one finger pointed at you and 3 fingers pointed back at themselves. What's nuts to me about this? Let me actually tell this anecdote because I meant to say this a couple episodes ago after I came back from Puerto Vallarta. So I am in Puerto Vallarta for New Year's, having a gay old time, gay, at a gay club, dancing my life away, right? They're playing pop music in this section of the club, and then the DJ switches to a Nicki Minaj song, and then one gay starts booing, and then all of the gays in the entire club start booing. and the
I'm here
DJ
for it.
switches the song. And I was like, oh, this is now your, we're in another country. You're in another country and you are being canceled. Yes, you
As
are.
she should.
Absolutely. The other part of it is, the other part that pisses me off about it is like the Christian reband, like you said, Fran, is such bullshit. But the idea that you're going to come on and say, oh, how dare Don Lemon, the cock-sucking Don Lemon, what would Jesus do? Is that Jesus' language? You know what I mean? You're the one talking about pussy popping and all this other stuff, anaconda, and now you're a Christian? Get out of my
And
face.
who did
It's
Jesus
so
stay? And listen, I'm not super Christian. You know, I don't know scripture in that in-depth way, but like what I do know is that Jesus stood up for the less fortunate. He talked about helping the sick, helping the elderly, helping the poor. If Jesus was here right now, because let's keep it real, that was a brown man, not a blonde-haired, blue-eyed man, y'all would be trying to round his ass up.
Done.
And it is, again, it's insane that Nicki Minaj, I will say a few people pushed back about Don Lemon saying, you know, you should be deported. I don't believe that we should be trying to implement the same strategies against, you know, our oppressors or people that we disagree with. But ultimately, the reality is she did not come here legally. And, if you're going to
sign up, if you're going to sign up for all a little bit of MAGA, sign up for all of it.
Sign up for the whole thing.
That's what I feel like his point is. Like, I don't think I don't know if he wants to deport it, but like I understand the point. Well, girl, if you're going to sign up, like you're in trouble too.
Yeah, you're not special. You know, again, like not to toot my own horn, but the Leopards Eat Your Face song, you know, it doesn't discriminate. Anybody could get a rendition. And I really think it's only a matter of time before it happens to Nicki. Because again, MAGA is not listening to no truffle butter, to no starships were made to shine. They're not listening to your music. You have, and I will repeat this because we talked about this when we did our Nicki episode. Her gay audience, her queer audience, that is her fan base. And it is mind-blowing to me that she is so self-interested that she is willing to throw all of them under the bus, because to bring Don Lemon's a cocksucker, his sexual orientation has nothing to do with his ability to do his job as a journalist. And that's what he was doing.
Right. Well, it's also crazy to me. I've said this before, but I'm so biased about this, but y'all, gay fans, we don't have children on the whole. Most of us don't have children. So we work the fuck hard. So we have disposable income. And especially when you speak to an ounce of us, we will stand for you. So the idea that she is shitting on the community, which
that put her where she's at.
Not only seen by her work, but really lifted you up. Right? That's just, it's so misguided and stupid. And I get it. You know, she's in love. She loves her brother. She loves her husband. And she has her own stuff that she's trying, it seems to me, allegedly. She's trying to get some kind of favor with the Trump administration. But I can tell you, I promise you, the karma's coming for everybody. I know it might take a minute. But even them motherfuckers, Stephen Miller, Pam Bondi, even the, what's the one that stands behind the podium we talk about with her nasty at Thanksgiving dinner?
Oh my God, I can't. Caroline Levitt. Caroline Levitt.
I promise you, it's coming for everybody. And I know that sounds a little hopeful and misguided and a little bit of Schadenfreude, hopefully. But I do think it's misguided to double down on this stuff, because if nothing else, the brand is now tainted. On the whole, if you look at
you can't walk that back.
Yeah, if you look at Trump's approval numbers, they are in the toilet. They are the worst of any presidency that has ever existed that we have records for. So everybody's in trouble.
And really look, stupid. I think there's still, unfortunately, a lot of work to be done. We still need to continue like speaking up for what's right and being there to protect our most marginalized neighbors and community members. But Delon, I do think you are right that this is coming to an end, and that's why they're ramping shit up. That is why they are scrambling. That is why they are inciting all this violence. They know that there is a ticking clock here. I think they are, look, the midterm elections are not going to fix everything. And I am genuinely so sick of people going, well, if we get a midterm election, please don't speak that into existence, right? Like, we are not there yet. There are still things that we can do. And I really believe that they know that this shit is not going good for them. Like, the white women waking up after Renee Good, The amount of DMs, Delon, I've gotten from women saying that they are proceeding with a divorce because they've watched their white male husband say that they are overreacting and they need to calm down about Renee Good. Oh yeah. I put out a message asking them, what did your husband say when it was black people?
Wow.
And I actually had a number of white women be brave enough to say, you know what? You are right. I did not see the issue before, and now I see the issue, and I'm walking the fuck away. And I know that the Republican Party has noticed that women are being radicalized because they ain't doing shit to help women.
Well, let me tell you why they're being radicalized, because their husbands have already been radicalized, right? So like, there has to be a counterweight to what we're experiencing. And that's what I think is happening. Also, right, not to shove off like the light bulb popping on for these white women, white people. I'm glad it's happening, but let it be a lesson. I know we don't learn lessons. I know we're not students of history here.
Class,
let it be a lesson. Okay?
Pay attention, class.
Okay? Pull out your pen, start taking some notes. Click on that keyboard.
Yes.
Because we don't remember, right? It's been happening to us for decades. Since we came on this soil, it's been happening to us. And
the Native Americans who were here before we fucking got here.
Right. And the I guess the more hopeful part of the thing I want to say is, like, I talk about there not being a sense of community, and I hope that this forms a sense of community, right? It sucks that people have to die. It sucks that we have to be terrorized by our government for it to happen. But without that happening, there is a fear that there aren't any midterms. Because let me tell you, this thing in Minneapolis, this thing in when they did it in Portland, that is practice for taking over some during the voting season, for having poll watchers. That sounds a little conspiracy theorist, but does it now, guys? Does it really sound like that? So I hear you on, like, don't say there's not going to be, we need to have that hope. Please, let's have that hope for voting.
But also let's be realistic.
But let's look at the landscape, right? Let's consider all of it, right? Man, Nicki, back to Nicki. It is really hard to see a Black popular, someone I was a fan of, also Kanye. It's hard to see these people do this. It's hard to see, like, I don't know what happens when you get that level of notoriety or money, or you have some kind of other need, but something really decouples in the brain. It's a cognitive dissonance or something, because this is really nuts.
I try not to, like, diagnose people. I do think there's some drug stuff happening. I do think there's some mental illness stuff happening, but I think at its root core, Kanye is a great example that you mentioned, Nicki Minaj. These are people who are very talented, but they are deeply unhappy.
Right.
And I think when that combination combined with ego and then the entertainment industry and then fame and then money, it's a dangerous combination. I'll throw Diddy in there too, right? Where you become so high on your own supply that you are constantly trying to top the last big thing that you did, because you are trying to satiate something inside of you that can't be fixed with the external. You know, it's like, I got to have the craziest sex parties. It's not enough to have consensual sex. I need to assault somebody. It's not enough to just do drugs. I need to, I need to scream from the rooftops. I need to assault people. I need to align with white supremacists because I don't like who I am. I need to chase all of these things, and I need to make it everybody else's fucking problem. If you are miserable, go be miserable somewhere else. You are this wealthy, Nicki Minaj, and you spend all this time on Twitter running your fucking mouth. You're not happy. You're not happy.
Also, and listen, everybody has their own neuroses, right? I don't know. Mine is food. I don't know. Mine is, who knows what mine is. But people, like, get plastic surgery, People become sex addicts. And not to say that those things are good, but to your point, when you have a platform, it feels like a, not like a moral degradation, but like morally corrupt. To
there are consequences.
Society. Yeah.
Yes, 1000%.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking.
Let's move into the
topic.
To the fix. Yeah. Okay. So class, if you remember back in the day when we were doing the audio version of the show, we would have a portion where we would bring different topics that we would like to fix as per the name of Let Me Fix It. We'll also ask you for your thoughts on the fix. Delon, is it okay if I go first?
Sure.
Okay, so this is a different format for me, because this is actually someone who is trying to fix something that I am 1000% on board with. There is a lawyer who is currently suing the IRS to demand that they recognize her pet as a legal dependent. And I 1000%, Amanda Reynolds, I want to salute you, Miss Mama, because she did the numbers and she said that she has spent at least $5,000 taking care of her dog, and that her dog in many ways is like a child. Like, now, don't get upset, class. If you have kids, we are not saying a child and a dog are the same, but in reality, it is a dependent, right? Your dog you are responsible for their food, shelter, medical care, training, transportation, and daily living. And while dogs are legally classified as property, that doesn't reflect the role within families and households. And so Amanda Reynolds is saying that the responsibilities of her pet mirror and sometimes surpass those of human dependence, because the dog they don't move out. You know, the dog is always going to be there and be a dependent. And I think this is a great fix, because I have some bills I would like to submit to the IRS on behalf of Flex.
Yeah, this is it's a really interesting topic, because I mean, my gut is like, girl, get out of here. Because it feels a little bit like you've made that choice to have a pet. And I think you could make the same argument. Again, class, you could please, kids are not animals. Kids are not animals. But you could also make the argument, well, you also chose to have kids, right?
Yes.
But then there's a cultural conversation about continuing the human race, right? So we need to continue the human race, because that is part of our remit as a people, as a species, right? But it's not our job to keep pets alive, but it is, because that's why we have shelters, and that's why we have that kind of moral compass therein. Also, there are too many pets in the world, and so why not allow people to adopt them and get some kind of
financial incentive
for that? I totally agree with that.
And to your point about, you know, you make the choice to have kids, you make the choice to have a pet. The U.S. government has been, or really the Republican Party has been, floating this idea that they want to financially penalize people that don't have children. What? They want to try and listen. What? This was the whole plan with getting rid of reproductive rights, getting rid of abortion access, and making it in some states illegal to the place that you can face criminal charges. If you have a miscarriage, they will try and put you in jail. And it's already happened to a few women, mind you. Not even talking about if you die, right? They are.
This is so
crazy.
Dystopian and fucking, what's her name? Margaret Atwood. It's so
Octavia Butler, Margaret Atwood. I mean, if you read The Handmaid's Tale, if you read Parable of the Sower, all of those things are pulled from actual things that have happened in history. And this legislation of our bodies is all tied to, look, ultimately, it's about trying to have more white people to have children. That's what this is about. And
lo and behold, we have more children than they do, but yes.
Right. But well, this is also related, right? Because when we talk about, medical racism, Black and brown women are more likely to die in childbirth and or be stuck in a cycle of poverty, by which their children are then funneled into the school to prison pipeline.
None of it's by accident.
So it's not by accident that they are doing all of this stuff to try and push y'all. And, not to get conspiratorial, but even the increase of the trad wives online. Oh, I love how I have 5 kids and I don't work and I do blah, blah, blah. Bitch, you are a professional influencer. You work, you are pushing propaganda that the goal is to have as many children as possible and be financially tied to a man that you can't leave. They're trying to get rid of no-fault divorce. So, all of this is related in the sense that if you choose to have a child, you 1000% should be financially incentivized through tax cuts, right? Because you are a member of society. I would also argue, if you have a pet, while the pet is not going out and getting a job, the pet might be helping you continue going to work and keep you sane and be there to make you not fucking crash out.
But you know what? You know what's going to happen, though? I think of like the Tiger King. The Tiger King. You talk about tax incentive. You know that motherfucker is going to have living off the government.
His ass is in jail. But I think,
but I'm just as an example, right?
Right. I think there would need to be some limitations. But in the same way that you can have your dog be, an emotional support animal.
Yeah.
Like, or if you are somebody who, for example, has a seeing eye dog, you are able to get tax benefits for that. You're able to get your health insurance to pay for it. I think that our pets, in that same way, even if you don't have a disability or a diagnosed mental illness, our dogs, our pets are like emotional support. And if you are taking on that extra financial burden, especially when the dog gets sick, and then, you spend the money to take care of it. I believe, look, we can spend money on bombs and fucking ice. We can absolutely give somebody a tax credit because they have a dog.
Yeah. And I think, not only talk about tax credits, the tax credits that we give corporations left and right, for our 401k, for how many employees you have, for pay, all of the things, right?
Yes.
If we're looking at individuals as entities, which I think in a tax sense we actually are, right? Yeah, I think I buy it. I also want to say, like, if you have a pet and God forbid, that you do anything to not take care of that pet or abuse that pet and you are reported, that is a legal offense. That is, you can go to jail, you can get in trouble for that. So in the same way, I think being responsible for another being, you should get it. I'm down for that. You should get incentivized for that. Class, let us know what you think. Do you have pets and do you want a tax credit? Because I could get a dog real quick. Motherfucker, don't say shit. I had a dog once. Oh my God.
All right, Dawn, what's your fix this week?
So my fix is actually kind of adjacent to, I know you're tired of us talking about heated rivalry, but I want to talk about the masculinity part of this, right? Because we talk about masculinity being a disease, and I do want to separate masculinity for a second, if we're able, from men specifically. Let's think of it as its own entity. The idea that people, that a part of the species has to adhere to these kind of rules, these performative, these performances of
gender,
gender, thank you, really fucks everybody up. It fucks them up. I'll speak from the I have only, as an adult, felt like I can be vulnerable and emotional, and it's often through my relationships with the women in my life that I feel safe enough to do that, right? So I want every man to just experience being gay a little bit. I think it should be a rite of passage. And let me tell you the fixes for it and the whys, right? So I think there's something to being othered in our experience in life. You being a woman, you being a Black woman, you being a queer woman, like me being Black. There's something about not only being pointed at, but experiencing life and culture and feeling like who you are is just not congruent with everyone else. And so even though there may be people pointing at you, you may be bullied, but the experience of life tells you, oh, I am different. And so I have to then put on a mask and perform something else so that I can feel like I fit in. And listen, cis straight men might feel this, cis straight women might feel this, everyone feels this in some capacity. But I think it's particular. We're biased, but I think it's a particular thing to be othered. So I think, one, they should be othered in some sense so that they have some kind of empathy for what it is. My second point on how to fix masculinity is, and adjacent to heated rivalry, is the full experience of release and relief when you have a man hold you in his arms. Like when you really let yourself go in a man's arms. I'm a huge man. I'm 6'1", I'm 200 pounds. I got these biceps. It is, it's not very often that I feel that sense of release and relief. But when I do, it is the few times where I can be utterly vulnerable. And I'm sure men do that with their wives and they hold them in different ways.
But they deserve it more. They need more of it.
And it is specific to allow yourself to do that with a man. Allow a man to hold you like that. I think that allows for vulnerability. And lastly, my point on fixing masculinity here is having something inside of you. Having something inside of you.
I got the power.
Having and pumping inside of you and giving you pleasure as a result of that friction
Yeah.
will show you how to do it better, but
Yeah.
also allow you to see what it's, because it is very vulnerable to have something inside of you. I mean, goodness me.
Yeah.
So those are my 3 tips for fixing masculinity out here, because heated rivalry has me thinking, has me pontificating on how we could fix it. And I think there are a lot of straight men watching it, and I think we all are living under the masculinity prison. So that's my
something that you said about masculinity being a mask. Delon, do you remember we watched a documentary together, The Mask You Live In, which is like masculine?
Oh, yes.
That class, if you've not seen this documentary, now to be fair, it's not perfect. They don't really talk about the ways in which masculinity is interpreted across race. That's like the one place I would have wished that they had dived into. But it was really eye-opening for me, because there was a moment in the film, if you remember, Delon, where they were talking to men who were talking about moments in their life where they felt that they had to be a man, and they realized like how this performance of masculinity was a performance and something that they constantly had to buy into and could be taken away at any moment. And they talked about this challenge where, as kids on the playground, they would ask you to show your hand. And if you showed your hand this way was feminine and this way was masculine. And if you did it this way, they would punch you. And Delon, I remember when they showed this moment, I looked over at you and you were tearing up. I had never heard of this before. And it was a light bulb moment to me of like, for girls, we become sexualized immediately. Like before you even have boobs, before you have a period, and suddenly it's like, you're a woman, and now everyone's like, you're a woman. Okay. But like for young boys, it's be a man. You're not a man. Man up. It's this idea that like everybody is telling you what it is to be a man. And so I think your fix about giving, I don't know if it's kind of almost like when you have an exchange student, like maybe it's that, where it's like, okay, so for this semester, you are gay. And so we are going to send you to another town and no one's going to know you, but now you are the gay kid in town. Or again, the holding thing. I remember listening to a podcast about adoptees who had come from orphanages where they hadn't had like skin on skin contact with their birth mother. And so as part of their therapy, it was a lot of like holding with their adoptive parents, and how it was like this really like powerful thing of like, I don't like this. And then like the breakdown of like the release of like, oh, I need to be held. And that like looking in someone else's eyes and like the transfer of emotion and love is so powerful. And so maybe there needs to be kind of like Big Brother, Big Sister, like some sort of program where like you sign up and get a hugger and y'all just hug it out and look at each other.
Or hold each other's hands or look each other in the eye. And like, there's a little bit of jest in like all cis straight men should be gay at some point. But like my point is being othered. But the idea, like there's so much power in vulnerability, right? The idea that you and I can share something and I could cry about it, or we could cry about it, is beautiful to me, because it means it matters. It means like it's significant, or it's touched me in some way. The idea that I would shut that down because of some performance, or I don't have access to that, I think is psychologically damaging. It like stifles what we're capable of, I think, in terms of our 3-dimensional humanness, you know? So that is my, I say that totally. I do remember that moment when we were watching The Mask You Live In and I teared up. And the hand thing, I could say now, is because I remember distinctly being a 10-year-old and having my hand out and having it be a little limp, and my father slapping the fuck out of it and going, don't hold your hand like that. And what's fucked up about that is that I didn't know that I was performing something that was not masculine, but I also didn't know how to perform the other part of it.
Because you were a child.
Don't do that. And I'm like, oh, what? I don't even know what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really, it fucks you up. It fucks you up, you know?
Yes, class, tell us in the comments how you would fix masculinity, because it is a multi-layered thing. I think the re-education, but I think it starts in childhood. And the way we talk about gender the way we really don't teach it in like a traditional sense, that we actually talk about it, which is why so many people don't understand the difference between gender and sex when we're talking about trans people, for example. But we really need to give people the space to be who they are.
Yes.
And statistically, when you look at the rates in mental health when it comes to queer people, they are so much happier and more productive when they're just allowed to be themselves. And if you're a
Yes.
parent, you really owe it to your child to let them be who they are. Like if you're signing up for the responsibility to bring life into
Yes.
this world, you need to be prepared, whether they are gay, whether they are disabled, whether, they are a Chapel Roan fan or whatever the fuck they are.
They're because they're a gift, because you
Yeah.
wanted why, and also that that begs the question, like, why did you want them? Did you want them so that they can be reflections of you, or did you want them so that you could have love in your life, and like
Well,
you have so much love to give that you wanted to expand your family so that you could offer that to another being?
but I will also say this ropes into our reproductive freedom conversation, because there are a lot of people who are having children that do not want them.
Talk about it.
And they are forced into having them, and they do not realize that they are continuing a cycle of dysfunction. And that's not to say that to absolve them of any hurt or harm that they place on a child, but the reality is there are a lot of people whose lives would be better if they did not have children. And I believe that they should have access to the ability to make that decision, whether it be a Jimmy hat in the bedroom or a in the doctor's office.
Right. Yeah. So let's go to the comments of the class. Do you have any comments from the class, Fran?
Yes, this one comes from Hey, this is Ruby 5261. And Ruby says, would love to hear your take on AI influencers. I feel like my threads, Instagram, and TikTok are flooded with AI influencers and people selling courses on how to create realistic AI influencers and use them for product promotion. This person left a very long comment. I will put it on screen if anyone wants to read the whole thing. It's very involved, but it ends by saying, what do you think of this as creators, especially Fran, since you've been a content creator for so long? Sorry, this comment is long. I have ADHD and so many thoughts on this. Dwan, have you seen these AI content creators?
I've seen AI content, but I haven't seen content creators specifically. They're like influencers, you mean?
Yeah. So one example we talked about on the show was that Zania Monet, the AI musician. So there are a lot of those, but there are also now ones that are just doing like lifestyle content and gaming content and just like being hot girls on the internet. And I don't like it for many reasons. One, the environmental impact is something we've talked about when it comes to AI. But the bigger issue is that these AI generated people are stealing from real people. AI doesn't just magically come up with someone. It combs the internet looking for people as source inspiration, and then it pulls little bits of it. And I gotta say, one of the things that is most glaringly obvious to me when I see these AI influencers is how many of them are Black. It's giving minstrel show. It's giving y'all want a slave that can literally tap dance for you and you can make money off of. And it is so dystopian and so infuriating.
It also makes me laugh a little bit because like we know we are the culture. I'm just so sorry. We know we are the culture. We are the food. We are the sports. We are the music.
Yes.
We are the culture.
Yes.
And y'all are tapping into it because you don't know how to do it otherwise. That's just crazy to me.
And know that we are the fucking blueprint. Delon, the amount of these, the fetishization is off the charts. I see all of these like Black AI influencers that are like albino or they have like what's the skin condition? Vitiligo, or it's like literally right down the middle, half Black, half white.
I have seen this.
They're like dancing and like looking all sexy, and it's like, you are obsessed with us. This is like a weird race science shit, and it's always like a white person that's just like painted Black.
I got duped because there was one guy I was like, why is he's just doing this dance over and over and over in all his videos, but the vitiligo was so too clean.
It was too clean.
down the. I was like, wow, okay, that's crazy.
They have a lot of them too, where it's like they do the format where it's like, this is my mom, this is my dad, and this is me, and it's like a white Scandinavian that's perfect, and then like a black person who's like black as onyx, like the skin is just like not a natural shade, and then together it's like this vitiligo with like a spot on the eye that's like perfect, and it's and big boobs, and it's just like a cartoon character. And the comments are filled with people that are like, wow, you're so pretty, this is so cool, and they are making tons of money. They're pushing crypto scams. They are selling products on the fucking TikTok shop. They're scamming people out of money. It's really bad. And I try not to be conspiratorial, but I feel like a big part of the reason why Trump and Republicans keep pushing this stuff is because they want us to distrust our own eyes at all times. Because I believe when and if the shit in the Epstein files comes out, it's going to be so horrific that they're going to go, oh, that's AI. That's not real. That's not real.
Just to take a detour, because you mentioned the Epstein files, I just want to say, class, do not forget about the Epstein files. Venezuela, attacking Venezuela and capturing their president, Greenland, Minneapolis, all of that is also a distraction, right? Talking about we're going to attack Iran because they're having their own kind of cultural moment and you know, going against their government. All of that is a distraction to be hyperbolic, to make us go, oh my God, and forget that the shit that they redacted in the Epstein files is epic. They're protecting pedophiles. They're protecting pedophiles in there. And I thought that shit, I've said this on the podcast before, I really thought that was conspiracy theory. But clearly it's turned out to be some kind of truth. Because
it's real.
Why is it redacted?
I'm from West Palm Beach, Epstein Island. Epstein was on Palm Beach. He was coming to West Palm Beach, where I'm from, and scooping girls up. All of that shit was real. Donald Trump was doing it too. And I fully believe that the things that are in there, at least the things I've seen, because we really haven't talked about on the pod, truthfully, class, it's very triggering for me. And while I agree we shouldn't forget about it, I've seen way too many people talking about it in this very glib, cavalier way that minimizes how disgusting and real this shit is. And I think that that is intentional. The fact that Release the Files became this meme, you know, as a callback to our game, really desensitized people to the fact that this is not a joke. We are talking about children being abused, sexually violated, and trafficked.
But now women who are still dealing with the repercussions of being abused as children. One woman who took her life, right? So like this is, it's still ongoing for these people. And I do understand the idea that, not understand, like their names need to be redacted. But they're also saying, we want this stuff out because we want people to be held accountable. And so, you know, I know we've jumped from AI.
But it's all related, because this normalization of seeing fake things and not knowing if it's real or not. I mean, I've seen all of these advertisements for games where you can trick your friends and family into thinking that you have video of them committing a crime. And it's always Black people in the video clips of people committing crimes.
Why would you need that?
Why would you need that? Why would you need that? I have not seen anybody give me, and class, maybe you can expand my horizons here. I have not seen anyone give me a good reason for why we need a video platform that can make footage, can take people's clothes off. Okay. That was happening over on Twitter, on X, that people would post photos and then they would say, take this person's clothes off. And it was men taking off the clothes of women and children, making child porn. Why do we need that technology? And it's insane to me, because you can find consensual nude photos of adult anywhere, but they don't want that. They want it to be against someone's will. Right. This is made for the purpose of violating people. We don't need these things. And it's so frustrating to me.
I'll say, like, the one AI thing that I do consume adjacent to this is TikTok keeps pumping these, the algorithm keeps pumping these cartoons that are telling me about health things. So it's like these little cartoons that are like, hey, after you cook rice, don't put it in the fridge right away or don't eat it after a day because it's all of the mold will build up. Or here's how you should keep this avocado. Or here's what you should do with this orange juice. I love those because they feel like they're helping me learn something. AI I can get down with, but like Zania Monet,
you pulling your little sweater together while you said that.
I know this.
You are old.
Listen,
you are old as fuck.
I say frio. It is cold out here in Boston.
And you know why? Because you're eating up those AI videos and it's fucking putting a hole in the ozone layer. And that's why it's extra fucking cold and extra hot in January.
I'm not seeking them out. They're pushing them toward me, okay? At like 11 at night. And I'm like, who am I to turn away? But yeah, I hear you. Like it's becoming too much. I'm waiting for the bubble to burst because
it's coming.
Kind of the back end of things is not only are they creating all these data centers where they're burning the ozone layer, as Fran was saying, but they also have no way to make money. All of these companies have like gotten all of this venture capitalist funds, but they don't know how to transfer it to us giving them money because lest we forget, class, they do not make money without us. It is our dollars and our labor that pay for this shit, right? So if we also boycott this, if we also figure out a way to not consume it, not buy Zania Monet's albums and shit, then we can also fight back because they don't know how to make us get our money. They don't know how to make us pay for it.
They have not figured it out. Delon, do you have a comment from the class?
I do. So this is an email. Just it's a bit of a love fest over here.
Okay.
And then they do have a question about a topic. This comes from our email, letmefixitpod@gmail.com. I promise I know what that is. This comes from Destiny. She says, my name is Destiny, and I've been listening to you guys for a while now. I stumbled across the podcast during last year's election when you guys were talking about navigating going home for the holidays, and I've been obsessed ever since. I listened to each episode 3 times now, and it never gets old. I would literally be in my car at work cackling with you guys, and I've even got my mom, who is also a millennial, to listen to it, and we still talk and laugh about the TGIF episode because that was such a huge part of her childhood. Us too, girl. She says, as a Gen Zer, I'm standing on the front lines saying we need to bring back this sitcom. She says, I know. She says, I'm also in graduate school and becoming a mental health counselor, and this podcast has got me through some really hard days. Side note, I love when you guys shout out Black girls in counseling because I feel so seen. Anyways, that was a lot, but I wonder if you guys would be open to doing a Let Me Fix It for a series that has gotten canceled prematurely. And one in particular she talks about is this series called Grand Crew. Nicole Byer was on
Nicole Byer was on it.
Did you see this show, Fran? I didn't watch it.
Yes, I did, class. We did an episode with Nicole Byer. Nicole is my neighbor and a longtime friend. It was a great show on NBC. They only had 2 seasons.
And a Black show on NBC?
Hello?
And after 2020, in the 21st century? Whoa.
Hello?
So I'm going to find this because I really want to know, because Destiny really liked it. She says, I've watched the show all the way through twice now, and I'm still mad it got canceled. In closing, I love the show and love hearing your thoughts. I could listen to you guys talk about anything. Destiny. Thank you.
Oh my God. What a great message. I agree. Grand Crew was so great. I had a number of friends on that show. And Delon, you rightfully picked up on some of the things that I think contributed to the show's demise. It was a very Black show. It's about a group of Black friends. It's a well-known format. They all hang out at this wine bar, and it's like moments from their lives. It was not a show, not that white people couldn't enjoy it, but like it was a blackety black show. And they were not trying to make it palatable for white people in that, like, okay, we're going to use this Black reference and then we're going to spell out for you what the reference means. There was no like white foil character, but it's like, I have a question. And then like, okay, that wasn't there. And I really think that the network was surprised by the success because they didn't really promote the show that much.
I've never heard of this before. Destiny put it in the inbox.
I knew about it because I had friends in the writer's room and on the show, but they had like billboards and stuff. But for example, Heated Rivalry is a great example. The show has become an overnight hit. And now what's happening? The boys are going and doing late night shows. They are going and doing podcasts. They were on the Bravo podcast with Andy. They were on Good Morning America. Like, they're doing all this press.
Right.
And that's how you get people talking about the show and watching it. And they didn't really do that for Grand Crew. Like, why didn't Nicole host Saturday Night Live, for example?
Yeah.
Would have been a great opportunity for her.
Right.
She did a lot of late night, but there's a lot of people in that cast who should have been spotlighted and should have had opportunities. You got to promote the shows. And it feels like a lot of these networks, Netflix does this a lot, where they have so many shows, they put the show out, and then if it doesn't do well, they go, oh, well, no one watched it. Well, you didn't tell us about the fucking show.
Right.
You
can't just put it in the top 10 and expect us to, you have to tell us what it's about.
Well,
right?
It's in the top 10 for one day. It's in the top 10 for one day, or and maybe it's there that one day. And I think this is, Grand Crew is on NBC, so this is not completely relevant, but like the streaming model specifically really hurt shows' opportunity to grow, like week to week, putting out a show and letting people find out about it and then go back and watch it versus like, we're going to drop the whole season, take it or leave it. And then if you didn't watch it, then, okay, we're getting rid of it. And it's like, wait, I missed it. So NBC has the money to invest in shows and invest in the press, and they just didn't do it. And it's such a shame, because I think after it got canceled, I saw a lot of people discovering it and realizing like that they had really missed out. It's super funny. I'm biased because my friends worked on it, but it was a great show.
Yeah. She listen, that Issa Rae quote, I'm here for everybody black. I'm supporting everybody black. So like, I would love to watch it. That means I have to get what streaming service do I have to get? Hulu's about to be canceled. Who's ending soon?
So it's an NBC show, so it's Peacock,
Paramount
but I think it's available on Netflix. I'm not sure. I don't know, but yeah, definitely find it and give it a watch. Yeah. Class, tell us in the comments some other shows that got canceled too soon that you would like to see brought back to life. Delon, we're running low on time. I don't have a glow up since you took mine with the hockey player. Do you have a glow up?
I do have a glow up. Let me toss this glow up. So did you hear, friend, that Mary J. Blige is getting a Las Vegas residency?
You know what? I did see that, and I love that for Mary.
They're giving them out like candy. J-Lo.
Well,
Vegas needs it.
But Mary J., I'm gonna say to you, take an energy drink before you get up there.
We'll get a Celsius, girl.
Get a Celsius, because Miss Mama was
let me
tired.
Tell you. So she was announcing this on the Today Show, and Craig Melvin asked her, so like, what can we expect? What can people expect from a Mary J. residency? And I quote, she says, well, it's called My Life, My Story, because it's going to be done more like theatrical, but bigger. But you still have the music. It's going to be fun. It's going to be told. It's a story. There's going to be actors and actresses and people doing, living. And so the music tells the story. So I think it's going to be hot.
Okay. My question is, are we going to get an updated rendition of crispy chicken, fresh lettuce, wrapped in a tortilla, wrapped up in love?
She needed a check.
That was a huge, I say this jokingly, but like, I would love to hear about how she dealt with that backlash, because people were up in arms over that commercial. Class, if you don't remember, Mary J. Blige was in, I think it was Burger King or McDonald's. Burger King commercial, and she's dancing on a table, and she's like, you got the crispy chicken wrap, and people were like, this is minstrelsy. Oh, it was McDonald's. People were really upset. I would love to see the behind the scenes. How did she deal? That was like her first, really the only controversy I could think of with her. Mild.
Adjacent to that, I would love to a peek behind the curtain. This is not on brand for her, but she looks tired. She doesn't she wants to be on any red carpet. She needs money, obviously, but I want to know what's happening, Mary.
Well, she paying alimony to her ex.
Oh, girl, don't get married. Don't get married.
Don't get married. Don't get married without a prenup. Don't do it.
That's all I got though on this episode. We're a little over, but you're welcome, class.
Oh, this was is one for the books. Class, make sure to follow us over on Instagram at FixItPod. And don't forget, you can email us, Lemme, that's 2MME, LemmeFixItPod@gmail.com. Send us a tagline. Send us, your deep, dark secrets and desires as a voice note, as an email.
Secret. I want your secret.
And we might include it in the show.
And also remember, every Wednesday you can get us here right on YouTube. You already have. But if you're new to the pod, please hit that subscribe bell and that ding ding bell so you get notified when we have new episodes every Wednesday. We appreciate you if you are new.
Yes, welcome to the class.
Welcome to the class. Sit down, open a notebook. I'm Delon.
I'm Francesca, and this was Let Me Fix It.